Think drinking is helping you network? Here's why top performers are skipping it. And those top performers are coming for you. You're in sales, or you're a CEO and you're a competitive industry, or you're a high-level service provider. You've been making deals on the golf course. You've been building relationships over bottles of wine or cocktails, and it's definitely worked over the years. It's why you are here right now. It's why you've accomplished so much. But younger CEOs, younger professionals, they're not using alcohol as a tool because of its negative impact on their well-being. You have to admit, you're not feeling like you used to feel, nor are you looking all that good either. And your belly's kind of sticking way out from that visceral adipose tissue. And your energy just isn't the same as it used to be, nor are your triglycerides if you're listening to or seeing a doctor. So when I say they're coming for you, I'm referring to Generation Z, the Zoomers. The Zoomers are coming. They're on the horizon. And they're the most concerned about well-being than any other generation that came before them. And because they're skipping alcohol, they have a significant leg up, a competitive advantage over you. And not just in being able to work harder because they're younger, which is certainly a fact, but because they have the potential to be healthier. And health impacts all parts of your life, definitely work. 26% of young people refer to themselves as non-drinkers, as compared to just 17% in 2005. That is a significant statistical change. And non-alcoholic beverages as a category has absolutely exploded. Yes, your future or current competitors are both younger, and they're not doing the things that you did to your body to ramp up your aging and get to this point that you're in today right now. But you're also missing out on the opportunity that is a state of peak health and the implications it has on your career. You can be better at your job by being healthier, and alcohol is what we see as the biggest barrier to that hard to get health, or seemingly hard to get health. It's a lot easier in the absence of alcohol. So how do you network without the social lubricant you believe that you need so desperately and that you've relied on for so many years? I mean, you're strategic with your career. You're strategic with lots of things in your life. You can also be strategic with your health. So start using all of that experience and wisdom that you've earned the hard way for your health to help your amazing career and help extend it if that's really what you want to do. So the summary is, I'm going to share a tip that will help you become better at everything with no additional time and even less effort. If you're ready to take the next step in your health journey, subscribe to our channel and join thousands of others who've already begun to tackle issues like weaving your health into your work. And together we can help you build the knowledge and confidence to make smart and healthy decisions to achieve those goals. I'll be right here with you because everything I'm espousing, everything I'm sharing, all these concepts, I also do myself. Matter of fact, I'm an extreme example. I took customers' employees out 4 times a week back in the day, drank each time, had a dad bod, 25% body fattish, and technically that's actually obese, which is fairly common now. Lots of stress, built great relationships in the process, then fell over on a golf course and had a cluster of grand mal seizures in Austin, Texas. I woke up in a hospital bed looking at my parents. I lived in California, they lived in Minnesota. Suddenly they were in a hospital room with me. I had no idea where I even was. It was very scary. But it didn't stop me. I was tested for drugs. I was put on drugs, was told it was idiosyncratic or idiopathic. I eventually got my driver's license back, was diagnosed with AFib also, and still have that lingering issue today. I've had close friends say they've given up alcohol for a month and it didn't make a big difference. Started drinking alcohol again because life was better with it. He told me he didn't think it mattered to his overall health, which I think is, honestly, between you and I, it's kind of laughable because there's so much science that points to alcohol being disastrous for your health. But I also get this question asked a lot. What can I do to lose weight? My answer? Stop drinking. But before you stop drinking, go have that last shot and then do a DEXA scan. And that visceral adipose tissue that you see pop up on your DEXA scan, which is massive and pushing your belly out and making you have your pant waists or the waist on your pants altered, that visceral adipose tissue will melt away so quickly, you'll be shocked. I mean, maybe my buddy needed to stick it out for 45 days or 60 days, or maybe he just didn't want to face up to the fact that drinking was killing him, and he loves to drink. Here's what we see with drinkers. Very high triglycerides and very high visceral adipose tissue. Visceral adipose tissue is the fat that's kind of in and around your organs. You can be skinny, you can be grossly overweight. In both cases, people can have a lot of it. You've probably seen the really skinny dude with the belly that sticks way out, the beer belly. It's visceral adipose tissue that's doing that. Those two markers together, they tell us one of two things. Either you're a drinker or you have a severe sugar addiction, one or the other. And if you stop, those two markers drop so quickly, your cardiologist's head will spin. Here's the thing. It's so rare to have such clear data that very few doctors' offices have DEXA scans, and very few doctors' offices run labs as frequently as we do. And so it's blatantly obvious to us, wow, alcohol is a powerful contributor to all sorts of chronic disease states like diabetes, obesity, heart disease. It's just a show. And that data is why we understand how devastating alcohol is to you. And we also understand why. Here's the deal. Your body's like a Ferrari, but alcohol is very poor fuel. Your body actually burns it preferentially because it views it as a toxin, because it's a toxin. And that means that your metabolism comes to a halt when it's exposed to a toxin, because your liver is like, oh, we have a problem. Let's clean this hot mess up right here, right now. And all of the rest of your meal, like those delicious truffle fries, they end up getting stored. So your body's like, we're going to store that stuff. How about right here, right around your belly? Because we got to burn this alcohol stuff ASAP to get it out of our body. And that's how it affects your metabolism. Because it's a toxin, it's also really, really hard on your brain and can cause inflammatory problems down the road as you age. Inflammation in general also declines your cognition. Your cognitive abilities just get smaller. It literally shrinks your brain over time. So think about that. Your brain is shrinking as those young, clean-eating competitors of yours are trying to build that relationship with your biggest account. You'll also experience nutrient deficiencies, which will exacerbate that cognitive decline. I mean, look at you, dude. You're a mess. You already know you can't drink as much as you used to be able to. I mean, you've got to admit, as you've gotten older, the hangovers are worse. But why? It's because your liver is exhausted, and your heart. For men at about 50, about my age, a cardiac event is the leading cause of death. Let that sink in, men. The leading cause of death. Key indicators, visceral adipose tissue and triglycerides. Exactly what we see elevated in moderate to heavy drinkers. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut it back a little. If you're drinking 2 bottles of wine per night, drink 1 bottle of wine tonight. Do it for a month. You should feel better, unlike that buddy who's lying to both me and himself. And then cut it back to half of a bottle per night. Maybe stretch it out 2 or 3 months, not just a month. Just take your time, incrementally make improvements, because this needs to be sustained over the long haul. And you'll get down to just a glass of wine on a Friday or Saturday night with your spouse. And while you're doing happy hour with your key clients, do not have an actual drink. You have to fake drink so that people don't feel all weird and uncomfortable around their drinking buddy who no longer drinks, and put pressure on you. Yes, a glass of sparkling water with a lime. It kind of looks like a vodka soda or a gin and tonic. Like, make it look like an actual drink. Then you'll get to a point where you're skipping wine with dinner. Some people think they need some sort of social lubricant and use cannabis. I don't recommend that one because it has other health-related implications. Others, maybe me included, I don't want to admit this to you, use psilocybin microdosing, a very low dose of magic mushrooms. Don't know if you've tried that. But although it's decriminalized in some parts of the U.S., it's not exactly legal. So that's not a recommendation coming from me. Really, sober is the best. You'll be surprised at how you get a contact high from being around other drunk people who are laughing and slapping each other on the back, and you'll suddenly be laughing with them and slapping them on the back, and they're slapping you on the back, and you kind of feel a little bit drunk. It's because of the vibe that people are throwing off. So sober is my preference, but you merely should be thinking better than where you were, not perfection. So if sober is a long way from where you are today, just drink less now for the rest of your life. And then in a couple of months, maybe drink a little bit less, and then a little bit less. And over the course of 3 or 4 years, maybe you're totally sober. Or you're like me, which is to say that you drink alcohol maybe 3 or 4 times a year. and you don't think about it, you don't put any restrictions on it, you just go out and have fun, and it has no measurable impact on your health because you just do it so infrequently. My point is that whatever you change in your health, it must be something that you really believe you can do forever, for the rest of your life. The rest of your life. So it almost has to be, your perception of it has to be that it's easy. So if your attitude is, no way, I can't do that, or I'm going to try it, but maybe just for a week, or I'm going to try it, maybe just for a month, and you grind it out for a month, and you're like, end of the month, let me celebrate with a drink. That's not going to work for you, understand? So just lower your standard a little bit. Do not shoot for perfection. Just improve a little bit over a long period of time, making it permanent, and you will be a better human as you get older. Now that you're all excited about the rapid changes to your midsection because of cutting back alcohol, and if you do, you will be surprised at how well it actually works. I mean, most people are surprised, even though it's something that we tell them to do over and over again. If that's you, I have another video for you. It's called The Wheel of Health, and I've created this graph that allows you to kind of step back and plot yourself on it and take a look at your health at arm's length and get a sense of really how you're doing from an objective perspective. And in doing so, you'll learn more about how your body works. It's really an exceptional tool for that. It's an exceptional tool to take a look at your body from a holistic perspective. It's got 10 spokes on it, and quantifying each spoke is an important part of the exercise. So I've created a PDF that goes along with it that gives you every single metric that we use at Stark to quantify every single spoke. You'll get that by going to watchtodd.com. Again, watchtodd.com.